Hello and welcome, beautiful people. This is We Talk Football. We're back with another video today. Um, man, not a very good, beautiful Sunday for me. I was up late, watched the Arsenal game against Brighton away, and we dropped points yet again. Another game away from home against a team that we can win against. It's not like Brighton are in the best of forms. They've not won a game in seven matches now, and it's a tough stretch for Brighton. But I think for them yesterday, it felt like a win because it's Arsenal. They were a goal down. They don't have a few players like Ferguson and Danny Welbeck. So for them to actually get a point at Arsenal, even at their home ground, it feels like a great point. A good. It feels like a win for them, and it feels like a loss. It feels heavy today. So not a very good Sunday, not a beautiful Sunday for me. But I'm here. I want to talk about Arsenal, and it's January, so the window is open. Today's the 5th of January, so the window has been open for 5 days. I want to talk about some of the things and places that Arsenal need to strengthen in order to challenge for maybe the league. I think the league is gone, but maybe if we have a chance to challenge for the Champions League, maybe we could get an FA Cup or Carling Cup, some of those competitions, especially now with Guy Saka out. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. But before we go on to that, please remember to like and subscribe and share and comment everywhere. You can find us at We Talk Football 24 on Instagram and on YouTube, the same handle. And you can look us up on Facebook as well, We Talk Football. Um, I've also been, every week I've had a weekly reel or video about two players from, football and the NBA and comparing their careers, like, and how similar two players are. Yesterday, I did my last one. It was an enjoyable, series, looking back at some of the players that I like from both the NBA and football. But yesterday, I did and posted the last one. It was Michael Jordan and Lionel Messi, of course, two goats, and I compared their careers. But remember to check that out as well. Comment, share. It was fun doing that. But yeah, today let's get into it. January transfer window for Arsenal, what we need and what we need to strengthen. Let's get into it. All right, the January transfer window and what it should look like for Arsenal, right? Uh, Thing is, if I have to go back a few months back, and when the summer transfer window was open, that was a huge chance for Arsenal to go in the market, dip, find a big striker, someone who's going to score goals and lead us forward and, challenge for the league. For the past 2 seasons, we've been challenging for the league without a proper striker. The first time in the 22-23 season, we had Gabby Jesus, but he got injured. He was playing great actually. He got injured, and we didn't have him for huge parts of the season. When he came back, he wasn't the same, and we saw that last season, and we're seeing it this season. Even if he's having a good stretch, but he's still not the same player, and he's definitely not the striker to lead us to a championship, right? To a Champions League. Kai Havertz is not the striker to take us forward. And if I have to tell Arsenal the places where they need to strengthen, it's a huge problem. That's a big problem. It is reported that Arsenal are in the market looking to sign some players up front to score goals, a winger, maybe a striker as well. But today I want to look at those things, and some of the reasons and some of the ramifications moving forward of these decisions. Like this, I think this is a crucial window for Arsenal, not just for now, but moving forward into the future. It's an absolutely important transfer window. This to see not only who Arsenal bring in, but the ambitions of the club, you know. But before we get into that, we need to sign. I think even with Bukayo Saka fit, we were struggling to score crucial goals. Um, Even with Saka, I felt like in January we needed to go out there and get a striker. Now with Bukayo Saka potentially gone until April, probably that's the entire season really, because he's going to come back in April. The season ends in May. He's going to be back for a few weeks, maybe a month at max, or slightly a bit more, maybe 5 weeks. But because Saka is out, I think we need a winger and a striker. And I'm not just talking about, players that are, you know, um, I'm not talking about good players. I'm talking about great players. We need world class reinforcements to challenge for anything. I feel like even the Carling Cup seems like even challenging for the Carling Cup or FA Cup will be tough. Because if we think we're going to steamroll and put in a B team in those competitions, you still have Newcastle, you still have Spurs, and both teams are looking to win a trophy after a very long time in their club's history of not winning anything, right? So if we think we're going to steamroll and win those trophies, think again. Bro, like you need to get off the weed if you think Arsenal is just going to steamroll and win those trophies. So I think we need not only one signing, we need two big signings. We need a striker and we need a winger. Now, the reasons for this, I remember I put out a video a few months back when we faced Inter Milan in November in the Champions League. And I said the problem wasn't Arsenal's play. I felt like we dominated the game. I remember in an interview, a post-match interview, Marcus Thuram said, the result is what we wanted, but how we played wasn't how we wanted. And that's not just because Inter Milan played poorly, but it's because Arsenal played well. Arsenal played great. We dominated the game. But for one problem, we didn't have a striker to put away the goals. And I'll read out some of the stats again. Arsenal in that game, 63% ball possession, a total of 507 passes, 3 big chances missed because we didn't score, right? Now that tells me that we needed a striker. And look at this, 20 shots on the day. 20 shots, 4 on target, 6 off target. So we had more off target shots than on target. And if you dominate a game, 507 passes, 63% ball possession, 20 shots, 4 on target, 6 off. It tells me you just need a striker or a forward like a Salah, like players who are just going to change the game, come in and change the game. I'm not saying we need a Messi, but if you look at players like Messi and Ronaldo, they played in teams where maybe there wasn't an over-reliance on the striker, but because we have those guys, Mohamed Salah, they can score goals. They can get us out of trouble. We don't need to take 20 shots and score a goal. We took 20 shots and didn't score a goal. And another game that I looked at, we played against Chelsea a few months ago in November again, and we drew 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. In that game, I felt like Arsenal were the better team. We dominated the game. We had better chances, but again, no one to finish the chances. We couldn't put the ball in the ocean. 51% ball possession, 425 passes completed, 4 big chances, three chances, big chances missed. We did score, but we needed another goal to win that game, and I felt like it was a winnable game. Look at this: 13 shots, 3 on target, 4 off target. Again, big chances, dominating the game, having chances to score but not taking them because we need an A guy to take those chances and score for Arsenal. Another example, big example. This one hurt. this one hurt. When I watched this game, it hurt my soul. I felt like um, I wasn't sorry. It was the Newcastle game also in November when Arsenal were going through a little bit of a slump. We had lots of injuries. Martin Odegaard wasn't there, but still we dominate, and it was away at Newcastle. Not many teams dominate Newcastle, but Arsenal did. I think we dominated Newcastle, but it didn't feel like we were ever going to score, and it never felt like we were going to threaten Newcastle. 64% ball possession, 502 passes, uh, one big chance, and we missed it. We didn't score any goals. 10 shots, one on target, six chances, six shots. Oh, sorry. One shot on target, six off target. That's a mess. I don't care what anyone says. That's a mess. And so like when I read out these stats, it just tells me that we just need a striker or a forward to bail us out of trouble in a lot of games. And you know what? I'll say this. I don't think Arsenal struggle to score goals. I just think Arsenal struggle to score goals in crucial moments. Now, this is seen because Arsenal have the third best offense in terms of goals. We've scored 39 goals. Liverpool have scored 45 goals. And this is a little weird. Spurs are the second team, like are second in goals scored. They've scored 42 goals, but they sit 12th. Man, Spurs doing Spursy things, right? But anyway, like don't even want to make jokes about Spurs today because we dropped points again, and now Liverpool have like virtually two games in hand. They are playing tonight, and they'll play against Everton whenever that. Remember that game was postponed, so it's not looking good. Like, and this is what I mean. We've scored 39 goals, the third most in the league this season, and last season as well. We scored how many goals? I can't remember how many goals we scored, but we were second behind Manchester City in goals scored. And again, it's not because Arsenal cannot score goals. Arsenal can score goals. Arsenal can Arsenal can give a good whipping, right? We can pound a team, but it's just scoring goals in crucial moments. When the game is a draw, we need a striker, an Isak or Gyökeres, to score a goal and turn a draw into a win, or to turn a loss into a draw and get points, like little points in the season where it feels like, okay, this is a crucial moment in the season and we're going to lose points. But if we have an A guy, a number one guy, we win games, or at least we gain points, a few points here or there. Um, and I feel like there are some realistic targets for Arsenal to go out there and get. I'm talking about players like Nico Williams, who Arsenal have been linked with. If you believe the rumors, his release clause is £43 million. I think Arsenal, and I've heard Arsenal do have money in the bank to go spend in January. It's a little surprising that we haven't done anything yet. Maybe it's just talks, but it's so slow. And this is the other thing about Arsenal. Arsenal transfers and negotiations are super slow, and we should be getting them done. Move out the way, get the player in, adjust it to England, because like January is a congested month for Arsenal. We have a lot of games and a lot of big games. We're going to play Newcastle. We're going to play Man United in the FA Cup, Newcastle in the Carling Cup. We're going to twice. We're going to play in the North London Derby this month. We've just had Brighton and Brentford away. We're going to play two Champions League games. Dinamo Zagreb, I can't remember the other team. So you see, it's like a really congested month, and we need to do our business really, really early if we're going to bring in someone, which I think I don't think it should be a question of if. I think it's something that should happen. Nico Williams, £43 million. That's gettable. That's gettable. Especially looking at, I think Athletic Bilbao are doing well, of course. Let me see their league position. Athletic Bilbao sit fourth, 6 points ahead of Villarreal in fifth for the Champions League spot. So they might not want to let him go, but if the release clause is 43 million, it's worth exploring. We have to go and I feel like we have to go and get someone like that. And I'm tired of players from rivals like Chelsea coming to Arsenal who have well past their prime, and we get them on a loan like Raheem Sterling, and there have been conversations about, would we take Marcus Rashford? With that stinking attitude, we're not taking no Rashford. Like, I'm not gonna accept something like that. So we need a signing that is an Arsenal signing. Not someone that's been pushed out the door at a big club and they pass their prime and they look to, spend a few years at Arsenal, doing nothing. We need someone who will have expectations and take us to the next level. Victor Gyökeres, it's going to be difficult to get him in January, but if his release clause, if it's believed to be £65 million, 63, 65, gettable. Go out there, be aggressive in the market, show that Arsenal want to win things, and get a Victor Gyökeres in. Victor Osimhen wants to come back to big things in big European clubs and big European leagues. Go out there and get him. Ademola Lookman, African Player of the Year. Now, it's going to be difficult as well to get him because Atalanta are doing really, really well. They sit top of the Serie A table. Now, I know they've lost the Italian Cup in the final. They lost to Inter 2-0. But if you explore options like that, certainly he'll be open to coming back to England and moving his career on. I mean, he's risen as a superstar now. He scored a hat-trick in the UEFA Cup Europa League final. And he's had an amazing season. He's the African Player of the Year. He probably wants to move on to win a big league and probably a Champions League. He's £30 million to get out of Atalanta. And the head coach, Giaccherini, I think he came out and said, he said something like, if players want to leave, they're not going to hold players back. He spoke about a player not wanting to leave, but if, there's been rumors about, I can't remember the player's name at Atalanta, but if, a club came in with the right price, they'd be willing to let him go. So maybe that could be the case for Ademola Lookman. Come on, Arsenal, we have to do something. I feel like it's such an important window for Arsenal, this, to get it right. Now, I feel like this window is so crucial because it might mean we challenge for something big. The Champions League, maybe, long shot. The Premier League, also long shot. With the way Liverpool look, maybe we could win an FA Cup or Carling Cup. It's time to win a trophy with these guys. And then next season, challenge for big things. I think it's important to do something this window and this season because you start to hear rumors and murmurs about players like William Saliba, catching the interest of Real Madrid. He has a 3-year contract. He has 3 years left on his contract. And he has said many times he's committed to Arsenal. He loves being at Arsenal. In the closing days of the summer window, Fabrizio Romano came out and said, Real Madrid are not interested in William Saliba at that point. But football, things change. And so I don't want to see us lose players like that again. I don't want to see us lose, key talented players that are hard. the players that Arsenal have right now, they are hard to get, not very easy to get. We got Martin Odegaard for like £30 million, and right now, if we had to sell him, he's an easy like £80 million, right? That kind of talent. We got William Saliba for less than I don't know how much we got, but it was cheap at Saint Etienne. Loaned him out a few times. He's back. He's the best centre back in world football. Got Gabriel very cheap, £35 million, I think. We got Thomas Partey, £35 million from Atletico Madrid. Okay, Declan Rice was 100 million, but he's worth it. And Saka cost nothing from the academy. These players, they want to win. And if Arsenal don't show that they want to win as well, go out there and reinforce the squad and challenge for Premier Leagues and Champions League titles, we will see again, like in the past, when Arsene Wenger after winning the Invincibles title, we saw players leave, big players, and you're like, for a club like Arsenal, these players leaving, that's so weird, strange. It shouldn't be happening to a big club like Arsenal. We saw Ashley Cole leave, Patrick Vieira leave, we saw Henry leave, Fabregas, Nasri, Van Persie, Bakary Sagna, Gael Clichy. We saw all these players leave and actually win titles. They all left and they won things. They all left. They won Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, Spanish La Ligas. Just last season, we saw Granit Xhaka leave in the summer last season and win an invincible title with Bayer Leverkusen in the first title in their club's history. Huge. And we still are struggling to win titles. It might be dark days. It might be dark days. It feels like we're walking through a grave and we're whistling through a grave at night, and we're tempting these players and big clubs to come and fish and snoop around our talented squad. I've felt like we have a good enough squad to win in the next 8 or 10 years with these guys and a few reinforcements to win at least 2 Premier Leagues, maybe even a Champions League in our club's history. The first one, we could win a Champions League with these guys. That's how I believe these guys are talented enough. But if we don't reinforce them, we can't win anything. I was listening to a podcast, Cam's Culture. I love him. He's amazing. And he said something. He said, Arsenal are carrying too many passengers. And I couldn't have put it perfectly. There are some players who are playing at a high level, like Gabriel, Saliba, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Saka. And there are players who are just middling. And the gap in between is just too huge. If you have a Bukayo Saka who's playing at a world-class level, and you have Martinelli and Trossard, who are average Premier League players, that is too big a gap to close off, to win big things. You cannot win the Premier League or Champions League with a player like Martinelli starting, Trossard starting, Havertz, Gabby Jesus starting. You cannot win anything with those kind of players starting for Arsenal. If they're on the bench, coming on the bench, fine. I think that's okay. But starting, hell no. Hell no. We need big players. We need winners. We need more talent. We need reinforcements. Anyway, thank you very much. Remember to look out for us on YouTube at We Talk Football 24 and on Instagram. Those are our handles. Find us on Facebook as well at We Talk Football. Man, what a Sunday. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the other game tonight. Manchester United, Liverpool. Hopefully that's going to be an entertaining game. to cheer my mood. But yeah, man. And hopefully we sign a striker. I'd love Isak. Man, Isak is a unicorn, isn't he? Wow. If we have him, lights out. If we sign a player like Isak, Twilight, bro. Twilight. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. Comment, tell us what you think. Thank you very much. Have a nice Sunday. Awareness.